Hello, my name is Stephen Hanley. Welcome to my first video blog. Today we're going to go through some pressure data that we had gathered in a recent test with our slam stick when we did a ground shipment across the country and back. In my blog I went through a lot of the vibration data, but we thought the video could be a good tool to highlight some of the interesting pressure. Before I get into the data, I just want to show you the test setup. This is one of our standard product boxes that we ship our slam sticks out, and it's just a standard cardboard box. Tape the slam stick inside of here, and use one of these voltaic external battery packs to extend the life of our slam sticks. These slam sticks can record for 15-20 hours, but they can record well plugged in. So that's what we need to do here, because the shipment took about a week to get out to Seattle and a week to come back. So going into the test, I was most interested in the vibration and shock data, and that is certainly interesting data to look at, and I went through that on our blog. But when I looked at the pressure data, I was kind of surprised. It looked pretty interesting. So let me just show you what the pressure data looks like. So this is the data gathered during the shipment. Every time there's these little blue lines, that's when the slam stick is on. I configured it to record off 1.5G triggers. So basically, when it was in transit, it was probably seeing 1.5G little bumps along the way for most of the time. So it was on for most of the time that it was traveling, and that's when we see pressure information. And what you can see is, when we started the shipment, we were at sea level or so out in Boston, but as it crosses the country, the elevation, the pressure drops, so the elevation would have gone up accordingly, and then as they get to Seattle, it drops down again. But then on the shipment back from Seattle, the pressure dropped to a lower level, indicating that they went maybe higher elevation. So when I looked at this, it seems to show that they went a different route going out to Seattle than when they came back. And if you look at the UPS ground tracking information, sure enough, when they went out to Seattle, it went through Spokane, Washington, and on the shipment back, it went through Portland, Oregon. And just Google Maps, Google would route you through Montana for if you had to go through Spokane, and if you're coming through Portland to come back to Massachusetts, it's going to route you through Wyoming and Idaho. So if we look a little closer here, well, before I do that, with the pressure data, you can pretty easily calculate altitude and elevation if you know some default settings for the pressure and temperature at sea level. And so I did that here in MATLAB, and this is the plot of elevation that's calculated from the pressure sensor on our slam stick. And so the shipment out to Seattle, it saw max elevation of close to 5,000 feet, and the shipment back saw max elevation close to 7,000 feet. And if we look here in our Google Maps terrain, one of the highest elevation areas is Bozeman, Montana. And according to Google, Bozeman has an elevation of 4,800 feet, and sure enough, our calculation off the pressure data gets us to about 5,000 feet. And then on the shipment back, it would have gone through this area in Wyoming called Evanston, which according to Google, the elevation is close to 7,000 feet, 6,700, and again, off the pressure data, we calculate an elevation of 7,000. So it's pretty interesting. Now, you wouldn't necessarily use a slam stick pressure sensor to know exactly where you are in the country, but it provides some nice, interesting supplemental information. If you have an idea where you are, you might be able to use it to get a even better idea of where you are. And certainly a GPS sensor would be better for that, but this pressure data was pretty interesting. So happy to share that with you today. I encourage you to check out some of this blog that we went through the acceleration data in more depth. And we hope to continue to release many more blogs and video blogs in the future, so please subscribe. The other thing is I wrote a 70-page ebook on vibration testing and analysis, so I encourage you to download that if you have a chance. There's a lot of good links in there to some other supplemental information on vibration analysis. But thank you very much for joining us, and hope to talk to you soon. Thanks.